What's up, everybody? You are watching Beyond the Breakdown with Six Scars. I'm the host, JT, and tonight I am joined by a sore throat, apparently, but also Tennessee metal band 1134. How the hell you guys doing tonight?
Fucking incredible,
Fucking great,
dude.
man.
Hell yeah, man. I'm so stoked to get this one going. We've been going like a little tete-a-tete on Messenger for a few months now, so I'm stoked.
Yeah, man. Sorry for taking so long, but eventually we got to it.
Oh, dude, I just I look at it this way. I appreciate anybody who puts the effort in to actually get back to me.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Hell yeah. So just to introduce everybody to the members, we have Darian, Brian in the center, and then off to the this is all distorted. Yes. Kurt?
Yep.
Hey, I remembered. I'm not completely dumb.
Right, hour left.
Dude, when it's inverted, I'm like, I have enough brain damage as it is. This does not help.
Being relatable.
So let's
How you
just
been, man?
do what, man?
How have you been?
Man, it has been a day. Real quick, I work at a hotel and it is race weekend, and it is just it has been a day. I'm excited to get this going and just kind of fade away for a little while and hopefully, learn about some kick-ass songs that you guys have put out.
So you've been doing a lot of beers and dirty condoms.
Dude, more than I would like to say. And my job is technically what's called room prep. So I go in and strip all the rooms, and it's just never pretty on race weekend.
I don't think it's supposed to.
It's not. You know, what is that saying? If it ain't Bristol, if it ain't rubbing. I kind of feel like that about everybody at the hotels.
Bristol, baby.
Yeah. I mean, okay, what are your guys' stance on NASCAR? I honestly, meh.
That's how we're going to start NASCAR. All right, yeah. I was growing up on it. I liked it a little bit as a kid, but didn't really stick with me.
My
Earnhardt all the way.
My dad was a diehard NASCAR fan, so that means I essentially was. He had like over 100 die-cast 12-inch metal cars,
Yeah.
bolts off of Dale Earnhardt's car, pieces of the hood, all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
we're steeped in it.
Oh, crap. Okay. Well, see,
Shells.
I didn't grow up necessarily in the NASCAR era. So basically, I'm a transplant from Pennsylvania. I moved down here when I was a kid, and I didn't really grow up around it. But I'm still a diehard Dale Earnhardt fan, just like you said, and like Richard Petty, things like that.
Yeah, brother. Praise Dale, praise hell.
There you go. So let's just jump right into it, and just kind of one at a time. Do you guys want to tell us about your early beginnings, how you found music?
Yeah, sure. You go for it, man.
Golly, that's deep. Again, that relates back to my dad. Being a metalhead and an adolescent in the 80s, he was exposed to all manner of music as it was taking popularity. And suffice to say, the scene will never be what it was then, but the offspring of those people there's nothing more important to them than music in their life. And there's so much that shaped them growing up about music. Like it was Def Leppard was a gateway drug to obviously heavier stuff over time. And then I'm centered around guitar work. So Yngwie Malmsteen, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, all the big ones, I latched onto them pretty quickly.
Hell yeah, dude. It definitely shows in your playing on the tracks as well that those are some of your inspirations, man.
Oh, well, nice. Thank you.
I guess, do I need to speak up then?
No.
My bad.
Wait your turn.
Well, honestly, his story is pretty similar to mine. Almost similar artists. Of course, as some would call it dad rock. I was raised a lot on AC/DC, Def Leppard, Led Zeppelin, you name it. For me, though, I latched a shit ton on Kiss, then Megadeth. Of course, I went through the stages, Metallica and all of them. But it was like Megadeth because I fell in love with like Marty Friedman's playing, Chris Poland, Dave Mustaine's, and then it goes on and forth, finding other bands, death metal, black metal, a little bit of metalcore depending who we're talking about. But yeah,
I'm all over the place too.
Yeah, my mom was more in country, so it was like Alabama and all that kind of shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I didn't like it, but there's some nostalgic feeling towards it, so I've grown to love it a little bit. And then my first CDs I've ever bought as a kid was a Kiss Greatest Hits album. Then it was the Shania Twain, her album with Man, I Feel Like a Woman, whatever that one's called.
That's hot.
And then Britney Spears' debut album. And for some, unfortunately, but to me, it's a little bit fortunate, I can almost sing that whole album from front to back. So
no shame.
No shame.
No shame. No shame. I grew up listening to like Justin Timberlake and crap when he came out with his solo album.
My cousin was all for JT over there. I know about that. Yeah.
And what about you, Kurt?
Pretty much the same as Brian and Darian. My dad was huge into metal and punk and rubbed off onto me. So there was a funny thing, though. Anytime he would let me borrow a CD, he would always be like, don't let your mom hear you listening to this. That's how I could always tell it was going to be a good one. So,
okay. So you said punk. I'm curious, like what were some of the bands that you were listening to?
Misfits, Ramones, Sex Pistols, Sam Hain, if you would count that as punk. Bad Religion, Bad Brains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A lot of the classic ones. I grew up on, when I found punk, it was actually when I was in what I called my straight edge phase, and it didn't last very long. But I found like Minor Threat, and then from there I found like the Ramones, the Clash, and Black Flag, and a lot of those things, they kind of influence a lot of my style. So it's always cool to hear that people are influenced by them as well, which, I mean, it's kind of boundless to happen.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, the first track I actually want to ask you guys about is probably one of my favorites from you, and I think it's the first one I ever heard, and that's High Above You All. So what was the making of that kind of like?
Well, that one kind of started off, honestly, our drummer at the time, Blaine Alera, had this riff, and he was always like trying to throw me riffs to work off of and write with him in the band when he was in it. And he had this simple riff, and he allowed me to twist up my own variations with it. And musically, that's how it started, with just how you hear it already, the da-da-dun. That's how it kind of really started for me to sell it onto him for the next riff that I got for him. And I stuck it. I tried my best to write as if it was him writing it, because I took it as a challenge, just always trying to find ways to write things. But then lyrically, honestly, I was inspired by my old band. They had a song called Eyes of Ra, but it was more Egyptian kind of feel to it. Since my drummer was really into Viking and Amon and Marth, I was more with like Odin and his raven kind of scenario about the world. And that's how it kind of started right off. And then I believe Kurt and I started writing the harmony parts in it in the chorus, which I can't remember how that came about, because we kind of write harmonies kind of weird, as we've been told.
Oh, yeah.
Can confirm.
I can't confirm. And then that was pretty much how that musically just started. It took me a little bit. I also went, I had my old bandmate go over the lyrics with me, because I showed him what I wrote down, and I got his opinion on it. And then whatever he said, I either took it or I just didn't go with it. And there were some changes made because of him that made it just right off better. It's actually one of my favorite songs lyrically that I've written, honestly.
Me too.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about the lyrics on it, because I was looking at them, and it's I definitely think one of the strongest, not just lyric performances, but vocal performances that you put in.
Oh, thank you. That was a bitch, I'll tell you that. Especially at that time, because I had no technique, and I still have terrible technique, but I'm getting better each time.
So what what was the founding of 1134? Like, how did you guys come to know each other?
I found a bunch of dirt bags behind a trash can.
There you go. You gave them homes.
Yeah.
In my case, he hit me with a car. So,
like, legitimately?
No.
Oh, well, that would have been epic.
I mean, if you've ever been hit by a car, at least in my experience, I've been hit by a car once.
Hey,
now, I know everyone doesn't have the same experience. For me, it was fun. I had a backpack on. I got hit, and I slung up the roof of the car and just totally flipped over. And I got right back up. I was young, and I didn't feel a thing, and it was in front of Kroger. It was pretty funny. But a lot of bad influencing going on during that time with me. Anyways, back to the song. How we met. Sorry, I spoke to one. So
you're good, brother.
Honestly, just a real quick. I was in the band called Bacalo. Eventually, I found my exit of the door, and we had a song instrumentally called 1134. And of course, it was one of those nights where I'm getting drunk and high at the time, and this silly thing of
as one does.
Yeah, as one does. I think maybe a 15, 16-year-old. Sorry. And it was one of those situations when we went to go get some munchies, and you see the clock and it says 11:34, and it's one of those situations when you flip it and it says hell. And so we wanted to write an instrumental song off of it. But anyways, when I got the exit out of the door of the band, I at least asked to keep that name for myself.
Okay.
And, just because, like, at least me and the other guys, we have respect for each other to try to talk out certain things or whatever. But anyways, so when I started my band, I wanted to call it that name. And then eventually I went through other guys before these two right here.
Did he ever?
Man. Yeah.
Phrasing?
But eventually I just purposely picked people out that were musically different. Some people call me stupid or crazy for that. Just because I wanted to be around other people with other music tastes and purposely put me in this situation where I have to think other ways. Even if I didn't like it, or I'll come around to it somehow. And then, that's how it really started at first.
Man. So how long have you guys actually been 1134? Like, when was it born?
I think the first show as 1134 was in 2016, maybe 2015, September. It was the same date when Cliff Burton died, but like either 2015 or 2016. So whatever day he died in September, I sadly don't remember at the moment.
27th, I think.
I think you're right about that, is when we played a show. But we played a 3-piece. We were actually a 4-piece. And our first show, our guitar player couldn't make it. And so I said, fuck it. And we just played the show. And we were wearing makeup too. I convinced the other guys at the time to put on makeup. And it worked for a good while.
Was the makeup due to like the big Kiss influence that you had?
Oh yeah, for sure.
A little bit.
Without a doubt, because in my head, I still believe it, but there's got to be some other band that does something like that. But I was really wanting to go for it, and that's how I started it out. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. What was it, what was it like finally getting it up there and, being 1134 for the first time? Like, what was the feeling like?
Somewhat victorious, but nerve-wracking and awesome. It was everything all at once. But the first show we played about 3 or 4 songs, and it was a 3-piece, and it was my first time singing in front of an audience as a lead singer. But the bass player at the time, Jake Burrell, was also singing on some of those tracks, so it was comfortable to have someone else, but also we had to help each other out and get through that day.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, seeing you guys live, you all are a well-oiled machine. Like, holy crap.
Thank you.
We probably still need some more oil.
Coconut oil?
Every kind of oil.
We'll talk later.
Okay. I'll give you my number. We'll just exchange DMs or whatever, and then I'll have to delete this.
Dreams come true off camera, though.
That they do. There's always happy endings, kids. Wait, what? Never mind.
If you know where to go.
So I'm loving this already. What was the inspiration behind your song "Dawn of a New Species"?
Seeing me for the first time.
Yeah.
No.
What was the inspiration of writing it?
Yeah.
All musically and lyrically, or
I failed to say that, but yeah, what was the process that you kind of went through to get that sound?
Okay, so writing that song and getting it to where it was at for that recording was after, as some would say, coming to Jesus or whatever. I was talking to my old bandmate and talked him into like joining the band, which his name was Zach Hardesty. And we were talking and everything, and we jammed out. And I really wanted to have a song written with him, or written by him, by our bass player Jake, and then me, in some shape or form, with our drummer Blaine at the time. And honestly, the first half is written by Jake musically, the bass player, and then the second half where it really breaks down to like this. To me, it's like almost like this hillbilly, like rock and roll metal feel jam off. That's written by Zach, and the whole riff, the rhythm part. Lyrically, I wrote it. The song title comes from Godzilla, the 1999 movie. There's a line in there where it says, "The dawn of the new species."
Holy crap! I did not put that together.
He's a cinephile.
I fucking love Godzilla and a bunch of other things, and that's where that one came around. I don't know. Of course, I was watching the movie, but I don't remember like when and where I was at. Good chance I was getting drunk, watching it, binge drinking, whatever. But then the music, after the song title, the lyrics, it's mainly me just talking about the band. We're just the dawn of the new species, and that's how those come up. It's also like kind of referencing like Frankenstein, the creation of Frankenstein, because I'm a big Universal monster kind of guy as well.
I noticed that with what is it, when the wolfsbane bloom?
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Another one directly.
Yeah. I listened to that one, and then I saw what it was written about. I was like, oh, okay, he's a Universal Monsters fan.
Oh yeah, big one. I'm a big sucker. So
you said Godzilla, so I gotta ask you, what was your opinion of -1?
Fucking loved it. I like the whole thing. Of course, like if I don't want to nitpick it for what I really want to see, like because I really like the old school classic one, and -1 does a really good job. But it's great overall. Like I'm a horror for majority of the Godzilla films. Doesn't matter if it was American or Japanese.
Hell yeah, dude! I was gonna say, I'm myself. I'm kind of partial to the Americanized ones, but that's just my style.
Yeah, I understand that.
So I'm gonna ask you guys just some off the wall questions. If you're cool with it.
Yeah.
No.
Go for it. Oh, okay. He'll be quiet.
No. Okay. Well, that's the end of the podcast, everybody. I'm sorry. Blame Darian. No. So, what has been the craziest place that you've ever written a piece of music?
Individually or as a band?
Individually or as a band.
Oh, okay. Oh shit. Craziest places? I'm never on the shitter when I'm writing. I'm usually in the shower writing lyrics. I mean, that can involve jacking off or getting clean, you know.
I was gonna say.
What is a god-tier place to write, though?
Is it freakiest or craziest?
It can be either.
Either. I don't know if I'm usually like on the couch in the bedroom, standing up, walking around the hallways, or even just like when I used to work in fast food, cook pasta, and I'll be cooking pasta and having like in my head, writing out music in my head, music lyrically or musically, and just going from there and trying to go home and remembering it and putting it all together and going from there. So it's not crazy, but I don't know, life of having a guitar in your hand sometimes.
Hey, no, I get it. I've talked to some guitarists where they'll say they're inspired by just sitting there in silence sometimes, and I'm like, well, hey, whatever whatever inspires you.
Oh, dude, silence is usually the best. I go for long drives. Oh man, even sometimes without the music playing. I mean, I love music and I'll play it, but there'll be times with no music and I'll be going for drives for like 2 to 3 hours. Usually with my wife, but just going for these long drives to the mountains or wherever I please.
It's kind of like it's amazing what some silence and clarity can do for the creative juices, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like I know for me, I end up having to reset quite often, and then I'm like, I'm either embracing silence or I need a shit ton of noise in my ears to get me going.
Oh yeah. Well, if I'm driving late at night and when the those lines in the road are about to put you over to sleep, I usually just blast out music, and it has to be heavy and fast. Usually, if it's something like too slow, even if it's a great musical piece, it can be too slow for me at night driving. But it has to be really loud and rude.
I feel you. Well, before I ask the other two what their craziest or freakiest, as we've come to hear, build the scene. What is the best pizza you've had on tour?
Oh shit!
Best pizza, man. I don't know. I'm usually sucker for mom and pop's places.
Same here.
I mean, what's on it? Kill me if you feel like it. But I love pineapple on pizza.
Same, dude.
I mean, I like ham and pepperoni and cheese, obviously. And I've grown, like, I used to be a kid that did not like eating like mushrooms and all that kind of stuff on pizza.
They're so good though.
But that pizza is what made me like supreme pizza.
Yes.
Forced me to love mushrooms on pizza as well. I'll even eat broccoli on pizza, onions, sausage. I'm not a meat lovers kind of guy, but I'll eat it. It's just too much meat sometimes.
Yeah, I grew up with CC's Pizza like right around the corner. So every Sunday, me and my family would go, and I would just binge eat. And now I'm like, why do I even eat pizza still?
This is like my first love.
Hell yeah.
Always there.
Liars Pacifist Podcast. What the hell? Broccoli.
I think it was my wife. She was like on some diet and she brought some pizza, and she knew I already like broccoli either with cheese or just steamed cold with French. Doesn't really matter. And she brought this pizza and she said there's some broccoli on it. And I was like, what the fuck? And I ate it, and you know what? Like, for some odd reason, it worked. It still was fine with me. So if you haven't tried it and you like broccoli, you might like it. If not, then sorry, bro.
I've had cauliflower pizza. I don't know if I've actually just had regular.
I mean, I'd probably still like it. But I mean, I love cauliflower.
I'll try most things once.
You know what? If you brought me pizza with that on there, it wouldn't stop me. It wouldn't stop me.
Well, that's good to know. Hopefully, next time I can catch an 11:34 show, I'm just gonna throw an entire pie at you.
Ooh.
Oh, please do.
Oh man, is it gonna be hot or cold?
I don't know.
I mean, cold pizza's good too. I'm just saying.
His first love is pizza, and his second love is guitar. I mean, pizza's guitar pick shaped to a little bit if you get a slice.
Yeah.
So if I throw the pie and it gets on the guitar and he has to lick it off the guitar, is that a good night?
For the guitar, maybe.
Wait, whose guitar am I looking it off? My own or these guys?
Brian, why?
I was gonna say, out of context, that's just gonna be clipped, and they're gonna be like, "What?"
Fine, pizza off of people's guitars.
I mean, it could be a new thing for 11:34. You know?
Oh, say that again. Sorry.
Oh, it could be a new thing for 11:34.
Oh, I mean, we can do a lot of new things. Like, bring whatever idea you got.
2 years, baby. We're always hot and ready.
That was. I was not expecting that one. So Darian, I got the same question for you. What's the craziest or now freakiest place that you've ever written music?
we're expanding. We're going places with this.
Yes.
My kind of vanilla place would just be, this is outside of the house, would just be in a car. When you're out watching scenery pass by, moods change, the way light hits things change, you hear things, inspiration comes. That's kind of a peaceful way to go about it. Love going on a drive. But then kind of the most unhinged way that I do it is something will strike me in the middle of broad daylight in public. And then I have to do something to either express it or get it down. So sometimes I'll pull out like a piano app on my phone and try to play it out. I'm just standing around walking in circles, muttering like a psychopath in the Walmart.
It was a pair of tits. That's what he saw.
I gotta get it out. I gotta do something to record that. Can't let it go.
So
no one else is around me at that point in my mind. It's just I gotta do what I gotta do, son. Is what it is.
So you said you pull out like a piano app?
Yeah.
Holy crap! So do you know music theory?
Quite a lot, yes.
I was gonna say.
I played tuba, so I mean I can read traditional music, and I took music theory in high school. Bombed the class because I was lazy, but I got all I needed out of it, and I've been studying it ever since. I've never stopped learning music theory.
Oh wow, that's something I've tried to learn in the past, and I guess I just did not have the willpower to sit down and learn it.
Like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Just keep going, man. You can do it. Anybody can.
Fair enough. I don't know when I'd eat an elephant, though. I guess in the post-apocalypse.
An elephant-sized pizza would be more up our alley.
Oh, okay. Filled with broccoli and cauliflower.
You know, it'll go through levels. Like one slice is one thing, the next slice is another. It's like Alfredo sauce.
Like the bands, there's got to be a chimera, a collaboration of flavors and elements, if you will.
You know, one flavor doesn't satisfy us guys. Like it's like
we need multiple options.
Like day and night's not even enough. Like there's other things between that.
All holes are goals.
there's midday and mid-evening.
That's what you want to call them. I call them before and after fucking.
Well, there you go. Oh man. All right, so I got another random question for you, and I am going to take pizza off the board because that's too easy. So, if you had to describe 1134 as a food, what would each of you describe it as?
Oh, shit.
Crap. No, not crap.
Oh, okay. I was like...
Hey, individually, what kind of food, or do you gotta think of it as a unit?
Just individually.
Because it can be a taco, pizza.
It's like Mexican lasagna.
Yeah.
It's like a Chinese cheeseburger. I don't know. There's a lot going on.
I don't know. I mean, we love food a lot, so damn, that'd be hard. What would 1134? Well, I mean, it would be a lot of beer. That's not food, but for some, booze is food.
Fair enough.
It's vitamin B.
It's hard to pin it down on one particular food. It's more like the Ryan's buffet, really.
Yeah,
because it's just all over
throw
the
a dart
place.
at a buffet and just pick several options.
Rest in peace, Ryan's buffet.
Oh, no.
You guys grew up around Bristol, didn't you?
Little bit here and there, but not like I wasn't there every day. There were some friends that my parents had that I was there a little bit as a kid, but don't know the area. I know the area pretty good to survive and get through there. But as for like, if you told me to meet you at this street or a certain road, I ain't gonna know that part.
That's the way it is to me. I was spawned in the mires and murky waters of Kingsport, so yeah. That's why I'm sorry. That's why I am the way I am. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You're a music savant, among other things, Darian.
I have not even begun to shine, my man. We'll get there.
There you go. Okay, so let's take it away from the food then, because you guys said the food would be hard to pin down. What about a drink? You said beer, but is there anything else?
That was ironic.
I've been drinking already.
Bad placement.
Oh, I mean, I would say DD and I are like whiskey drinkers.
I love whiskey.
Yeah, we're
I
like
spirits.
We
in
love
general.
whiskey. I don't drink anymore. really, unless there's a special occasion. But if you put a whiskey in front of me, there's a good chance you can get something out of me on that one.
I like high quality sipping whiskeys. I like Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
Golly, yeah. Of course, I would not be able to remember a bunch of them that I've had.
What was that Japanese one?
Oh yeah,
oh man, that was
smooth.
It was Hibiki Harmony. It was a $100
yes.
bottle of Japanese whiskey, which I still have. It may even
a little bougie, but you know what? You can't go wrong with whiskey for us. I don't know about him.
Well, see, mine is where the white trash comes into play. Pabst Blue Ribbon and Mountain Dew.
Together?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, we learned something about each other.
Wait, together?
I mean, I tried it once. It's actually not bad, but
you're still alive?
Yeah. Well, kind of.
Or just breathing.
You haven't gone through this life without putting something down your throat, liquid that you shouldn't have, then are you living yet?
You might want to be careful how you word
yeah,
that.
I know.
Would that be a Pabst Blue Mountain? How would you market that?
We can figure out something, boys.
Pabst Blue Ridge?
I call that Mountain Ribbon.
No. I
I'm white trash and I'm in trouble.
I only say this because my white trash as a kid was there's one moment when I drank a little bit of gasoline, and that was instant regret.
I have so many questions, but so much was just explained just now. At the same time,
at the risk of asking, do I dare? What?
Please do ask.
I mean, it was summer, unsupervised over my grandparents, and someone either got done mowing the yard or whatever, and I don't know, a bunch of us cousins, we either dared or we let our ego and pride get in the way to show who had the biggest balls to do something stupid. And there was a gas tank right there. I was probably before a brain cell could even develop. I'm joking, but it was probably 5 or 6.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing a teenager. And I wasn't trying to act like Gene Simmons trying to breathe fire either. It was just me drinking a little bit of gasoline, and the moment it touched my teeth and gums, it instantly was burning. It was just on fire. Inside, I was feeling inflammation going up. I was crying like a little baby, like a lot of 5-year-old, 6-year-old shit when he does something stupid like that. And I put water in my mouth. I brushed my teeth 3 times in 5 minutes, even though you should be brushing 2 minutes and whatever. And nothing was working. I think I did go to the hospital and I was fine, or either go see the doctor. But yeah,
no long-term complications.
You know what? I don't think they told me yet.
It doesn't kill you, it does make you stronger, they say.
Yeah.
I don't know if those long-term complications, but I'm kidding.
When I was listening to the story, I went in a completely different direction. I thought he was going to stop at, we wanted to see who had the biggest balls, and then just that was the story.
No, we went back to the gasoline, baby.
I was waiting for him to be like, and I was 17.
Jackass.
He said cousins, that tells me, yeah, crazy stuff was getting done.
Yeah.
So now maybe this was the early indoctrination of Gene Simmons in your life.
Nah, he was there a little bit before that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? He probably I wouldn't say he influenced me in that matter. It was just pure dumbness and just trying to show that my older cousins, I'm cooler but dumber.
Well, you definitely won the bet.
Yeah, for that one, for that day, for sure. Other days, depending on what week, there's 6 of us boys. So, there's bound to be a moment when you're acting stupid.
Reminds me of that Jackass song they end with. If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's an anthem for a lot of people.
It is the 1134 anthem, if anything.
Basically.
You guys need to incorporate it into your set list.
Oh, don't tempt us.
That and the King of the Hill theme.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that would be sick.
We almost rehearsed the Universal, or was it the 20th Century Fox theme?
Bum, 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 bum.
Universal. Yeah, Universal.
I composed a metal version of that, more or less.
Okay.
We didn't do it yet. So
I'm curious to see that now. So getting back into a little bit of the music, earlier you had said that not too much, but you did have a little bit of a metalcore influence on you as well. And I wanted to ask you about the track "Burn Like the Phoenix" because to me it definitely had
Why?
it definitely had like that metalcore type vibe. So what was the process of writing that one?
So that's another earlier one. Because that's part of like the original four. There's like, as I call it, the original four songs, and that's one of them. Process was I was listening to a shitload of Megadeth, so I wasn't actually listening to metalcore for that song, but that's the song that not me, but as a band we get accused of either sounding like someone else in that one. And it just happens normally. And like I don't hate it. I actually like where we get accused of, I actually love that band anyway. So it just shows it without even trying to on that one personally.
Mm-hmm.
But musically, like in the verse and all those, like that's Megadeth. I was listening to a lot of. I just got done getting kicked out of the band that I was previously in, and was listening to a lot of like Euthanasia and Countdown era of Megadeth. And I learned to play all the songs front to back on those both albums, and that was one of the riffs that inspired me to start writing.
Damn.
Lyrics,
So
I rapped in that one. The way I wrote those lyrics, I did a whole rap verse, and then I broke those rap verses down into verse 1, verse 2, and did it that way.
Was the writing process for the lyrics kind of different than the other tracks that you did?
That one's actually my first one.
Oh.
So that one was the first one completed, I believe, with verses, that is. And then the rest came afterwards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was listening to that, and I wouldn't say you sound like another band. I think you still sound like 1134, just in a different style.
What it is some people hear Trivium in that.
That's
one.
what. Yeah, I didn't want to say because I didn't know how like I love Trivium.
I'm looking at the Trivium poster right now. Yeah,
it's the Crusade era.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the Ascendancy and Crusade.
I'm looking at two Trivium posters. Excuse me.
Oh, then it's Ascendancy, the real metalcore album.
Those. So my favorite Trivium would have to be Shogun, Ascendancy, and the Crusade.
Hell yeah.
I can't argue. I will not argue with that one. I was introduced in between Ascendancy and Crusade. I didn't discover. My dad bought me an Ozfest 2005 DVD, and they're on there doing a gunshot to the head of trepidation.
Yeah, dude.
And for some, I guess it's not the best performance vocally, but I love all the cracking in the voice, anyways. And I remember going through that whole DVD because it's during the time where I was not accepting a lot of other metal bands. If you were screaming, doing constant breakdowns after breakdowns, doing any guttural sounds, I was not feeling it. If you weren't like thrash or old school kind of style, I wasn't going to get through to you. Or you weren't going to get through to me, honestly. And then I remember I was stuck in a fucking semi truck because my dad was a truck driver and he dragged me out to fucking Texas in the fucking hot heat. He kind of cock blocked me without realizing it. And I had that DVD and I was watching it and I went through the whole thing because I skipped a bunch of bands. And then I was like, I have to find a band on here. There has to be a time when I find something. And I found them on there and I heard like little Metallica and Iron Maiden kind of sound to it, that performance and that song. And then after that whole thing, I fell in love with them. But then I discovered a music video on Headbangers Ball, Dying in Your Arms. Not the heaviest song on that show, but it kind of confused me a little bit because in the live performance of Gunshot, Matt's screaming and then singing. And sometimes on the scream verses, he's actually just singing for live for the hell of it. Either he can't do the screams during that point, whatever. And then I watched Dying in Your Arms and he's singing the verses and there's a little screaming breakdown. I'm like, okay, they sing and scream. And then after that song, I lost because I didn't have the internet at the time. YouTube wasn't fully out at that point either, or I didn't have access to that yet. And the next song was Entrance of the Conflagration. And so they're like, it was really thrashy now, and it was no screams and just straight up thrash vocals. And then I bought that album, The Crusade, fell in love with it, even though it's a little bit more of a polished thrash album. But then I bought Ascendancy, and it was a night and day of that band.
Yeah, dude.
It messed with me a little bit. Like, I was confused because I didn't like bands that sounded like that, especially if like I felt like they did like any auto tuning or any like vocal fixing on the cleans. And it took me a second, took me a couple seconds in a song, and I figured it out and started loving it after that.
Hell yeah. I've been a longtime Trivium fan, and I don't want to crap on them. I've just not been a huge fan of their last several releases. Just the style change kind of threw me.
I can't. I liked all of the stuff. I won't say. Okay, from Ember to Inferno and Shogun, without a doubt, I like everything on there. In Waves came out, and I do like every song on there pretty much. It was just that's when I really started seeing some more changes that became a little bit more radio friendly for certain songs.
Yeah.
Other songs were really heavy, like Dismantle, Skyline. Those songs were heavy as fuck. I liked In Waves. It took me In Waves. I forced myself into liking. I hate to admit that, but when they first released it that night, I listened to it and I caught the breakdown, the screams, and I was like, the scream sounds awesome. But it was weird for me to hear a song break off the breakdown in the beginning, and then it goes into these clean vocals. And I listened to the whole thing, and I was like, "Is this real?" And then I went back and listened to it a couple more times, and then I started figuring out the formula in that song, like where I started liking certain things about it. And then, but I like the album majority of it. There might be a song in there that I wish they kind of performed it a little bit different, but majority of it I liked. And then every song after or every album after that, it's either pick and choose. I either like certain songs off those albums or I don't like the other ones as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. Liars Pacifist podcast, he said, you could say newest Trivium albums are a mashup of each era of Trivium. Yeah. And then he also said on that song that you actually sound like Matt Heafy's early scream style.
Oh, thank you. I actually, that makes me get hard. I'm joking. No, there's no lie.
Here, let me pull the camera lower.
Matt Heafy for sure. He's the one that band and him as a vocalist inspired me to find other bands. Let It Be Death Metal, because I kind of discovered death a little bit before, but it was based on thrash, and it was like one of those things. Like, I like the music, I wasn't really sure about the vocalist. The lyrics were good, I just wasn't crazy about the vocals yet. And then I discovered Trivium, and that I was like, well, if I like this shit, then I got to find other things as well in that same formula. And Trivium, off that Ascendancy album, big death influence in those songs, some of them. So for sure, like I went back on death, and like I fell in love, especially Crystal Mountain, all that kind of stuff. And of course, Painkiller, their cover on that one.
I'm a diehard Death fan, man. Like Chuck Schuldiner is the reason I grew my hair out.
But for sure, Matt Heafy is a big influence me when it comes down to screaming. Even though I don't believe I don't sound like him, but for sure the execution, I tried plenty of times to go for that way. It's probably not the best, but I'll find it the hard way.
No, I feel you. No, I wouldn't say that you sound exactly like him in any way. I think that it's still your own style, and you're just kind of doing what you're embracing, you know, what you grew to love.
Yeah.
Zach Miles, Trivium are about to tour the Ascendancy record again with Bullet doing the Poison. Yeah, I'm hoping to get to that one.
I'm a big Bullet fan.
Big shout out to Zach Miles. That fucker went with like legitimately probably 8 days of a notice. We had a drummer for the last year that was with us. No hard feelings over anything, but he just couldn't finish out the shows that we had booked. And that guy, without playing drums, I don't know, maybe I think he said about a decade.
At least.
Something like that, came around. He was able to perform a few of our songs with us to save a show at least here locally in Johnson City.
Killed it.
So he did an awesome job. Great guy. Chemistry was awesome. No big head on that dude. He was awesome working with, and he saved our asses for sure. But yeah, on that tour, Bet You Bottom Dollar, I'll be at one of those shows for sure.
Yeah.
For sure for Trivium. I mean, no hate on Bullet. I do like some Bullet. It's probably a little denial on that one. I do like some of their songs. And it's kind of hard, like when you have a good riff or a good beat, it's hard not to go with it anyways. And so no hate on that one either. I for sure would like to see their whole album front to back as much as I do with Trivium.
Hell yeah, dude. So getting off of Trivium, I don't want to dwell too much because this is all about 1134. I don't want people to think this is just Trivium.
Yeah. we might have to go past this 45 an hour shit.
Are you guys doing okay? Do you need me to let you go, or are you guys good?
No, we're good. I'm
good?
guys, I'm good.
No, I'm so good.
I don't know what time it is.
You're why I'm here, baby.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. See, this is why we have a rapport over the years. No, so the next song I am going to ask you about is Keep It Chaotic. What was the thoughts of making that one?
That one's another song. Originally brought in a riff from the drummer Blaine again, and he allowed me to change the riff and make it fun. Because like I have this thing, like me personally, I like to dance on my fretboard rhythmically a lot, even if it doesn't make fucking sense. Like there's somehow it does make sense because I believe in other things can help support that structure sometimes. But it can sometimes it's a bad choice. I ain't gonna lie. There's been choices I made. I'm like, I should have done it the other way. But either way, that song, he allowed me to change riffs. I kept his progression. It's mainly with his, when he brought me riffs, I didn't keep his right hand or his left hand technique on there. He's a drummer, but he would play bass. And that's how we'd write with each other.
Oh, wow.
I changed, kept the progression. And I just changed the way I played it to have more fun. But like, once again, challenging myself to like, whatever I write, I try to at least have that person like it as well. The writer, that is, so we can move on graciously to the next part of that song.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's definitely got an awesome chorus in my opinion.
Thank you, man. That one, that's another thing. I think Kurt and I was working on harmonies together on that one, I believe. It might be weird harmonies. I'm not for sure. I can't remember if
that one.
Weird.
That one's actually pretty normal.
Oh, okay, it's a normal one then.
Normal by our standards, I guess.
Yeah. That one, I do feel like it has a little bit of a power metal feel to it.
Yeah.
Because Blaine was a big power metal fan. He was all about power metal a lot of times, Monomarth and Metalocalypse and stuff like that as well. And so we wrote a song together and gave him an excuse to go full blast. Those recordings are done by him, and like that's how he was. I used to call him Happy Feet.
Holy crap! So those were done by him?
Yeah. He the guy that taught him how to play drums was pretty strict and forced him to get really strong on his feet. And he showed it when I jammed with him. He actually joined the band as a bass player, and because he wanted to be in a band as a bassist. And we did that for a good little bit. And we had a drummer, and he scared off the drummer. And I don't. If it came off mean, I'm sorry. It wasn't in a bad way. It's just like the drummer was doing a lot of 4-count beats, and Blaine just like, no. We got to do this and that. And that first practice, we did that run, and then the next week came around, and that drummer ghosted us and never came back.
Oh wow.
He was a good guy. Nothing bad against him. He just didn't want a part of it anymore. So I just told Blaine, I was like, look, if you're going to be picking on these guys on drums, which I don't blame him, you need that. I was like, he played drums and he showed me, and I was like, you're too good of a drummer to be playing bass. So get back there. And even though he wanted to play bass, he understood it, and because he was a killer drummer. But he would write on acoustic guitar or on a bass. And so I didn't take that away from him. I brought him music that way. And we found a bass player easier. It was just drummers are rare sometimes. They're a dying species.
Yes, they are. Anytime you find one, there's like they're part of 5 different bands.
There's a reason why you see 3 of us right now.
So are you all like, are you currently searching for another drummer?
Right now, okay, we're not trying our hardest to look for a permanent drummer. We've got a fill-in drummer at the moment named Eric.
Okay.
And he's doing a good job with us. He's going to fill in for the September shows that were coming up this upcoming week, and then our October shows. And that's the last book dates we have. And then after that, we're going to probably be jamming out with a couple of other drummers, and then just going from there. I mean, we'd like to find an official drummer to be in this spot, but it seems like it's either everybody's in a bunch of different bands or it's just hard of a task at the moment. So.
To be fair, energy has been diverted towards the EP. So now that the drums are recorded off of that, it's not as big of a pressure.
Yeah, for sure. Point.
So you guys brought it up. I actually had it saved toward the end, but since you did, can we talk a little bit about the EP?
Oh, yeah. Was there anything on that chaotic part real quick?
Oh, well, I think you actually not only summed it up, but you gave me a huge insight into how the songwriting of it was made. It's really insane that the guy that you hired for the bass went on to be your drummer for a while.
Yeah, he was a good, strong ingredient to the whole recipe of for that song for sure.
Make the room shake when he hit the bass drums.
Yeah, constant earthquake over here with him.
Is it obviously with him not being in the band anymore, does it hit a little different if you do it live?
Honestly, we haven't performed that song in a couple of years now.
Oh, that's been longer than that.
Oh, maybe. Okay, my bad. It's been a while since we performed that song. It was just because, especially when COVID hit, we're one of the bands that got hit. I mean, it didn't stop us from working together. It just stopped us from a good little bit from playing shows.
Yeah.
And then some life changes happened with just whatever choices came our way. And because during that, we lost our bass player at that point, Jake. And then I changed my job because I was becoming a tattoo artist and I was apprenticing. So I changed my schedule.
Oh, wow.
And so we had to rework the schedule and figure it out. We eventually found a bass player who is
right there.
It's right here.
He is present.
But he is a guitar player. And became a bass player.
I'm not even a bass player, to be frank. I've been playing bass since 21, so it's still new to me.
What?
We just have a habit of finding guys that are good at one thing and making them do another. I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotta say, this. Okay, so this is my 31st episode, and I gotta say, I've not heard that a band has had more than one person be a multi-instrumentalist.
I'm still working on getting a double neck guitar with a bass on the bottom. I mean, it's.
Oh my god, dude!
And I think we're all. Kurt, you can play more than one instrument.
Kurt can play bass too,
but I don't.
He slaps the Seinfeld theme, man. It's great.
The Seinfeld theme is just one step away from Mudvayne's Birding.
Primus, for that matter.
Yeah. So no, the next question I'll ask is removing away from the music aspect, what are some non-music hobbies that inspire you?
Boobies.
How much time you got, brother?
There you go. That's what I like to hear.
Which one, boobies or time?
Well, yes. Boobies and time, because
it's booby time. I mean, Kurt, what's your influence? You can go with this one.
What is it again?
Hobbies.
Other than music, what's your
hobbies? Oh god. Hunting, fishing. Really big fan of archery. Anything outdoors. I love being outside.
Okay.
Not really a big TV watcher or anything. I like being outside and I like music. I'm kind of a simpleton, so.
I mean, I wouldn't say simpleton. I think you just enjoy the simple things in life.
Yeah.
You said archery, so like I'm definitely intrigued. I've always wanted to try and take it up. What is that like, man?
It's it's hard to describe, really. It's definitely something you've got to want to do. Like, as simple as a task as it seems like to just pull back and hit the target, no, it never works out that easy. But it is fun. It's relaxing. It's in a lot of ways it helps me with music because you kind of the same discipline that you apply to making the arrow hit your target, you can easily apply that to music if you're trying to learn something new or, you know.
The time spent walking back to collect your arrows would be quite contemplative as well.
Yeah.
Especially if they go off to the side and you're like, God damn it.
or in my case, when you hit a rock and they explode. Because I've definitely done that a lot.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay. I've not heard that one before.
Yeah. Oh, it's you never forget it.
So I know you said you like outdoorsy things. Do you like hiking?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done it in a while, but I love to get out and hike.
The last time I went hiking was I think 4 or 5 months ago, and me and my girlfriend went to the Channels, and we were supposed to do like a 7-mile hike, and it ended up being a 15-mile hike because we took the wrong trail.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we like I love hiking, and I was like, what about you, Brian? Do you have any outside of it?
Yeah, I'm a man with many hobbies, interests, and I collect a lot of shit. You know, times I probably shouldn't spend my money on. I mean, my influence is wide in range. It can be monster like movies. I'm a big movie addict. I love watching Three Stooges, Godzilla, sucker for Power Rangers, especially the 90s, but really I'm in the Japanese version on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I watched the one without a doubt, but once I found out that I can order the Japanese version of it and I watched it, the story is completely different and it was awesome. So if it's not movies, I mean, I was a skateboarder and I found peace and therapy out of that. I have a big collection. I probably shouldn't say it too much, but of Playboys, a lot of Playboys. Like,
okay,
like 10 boxes.
If you wanted to pick a date and year, if you wanted to, and I can possibly go grab it.
They're all right over there.
Yeah,
I've had to move my base cabin.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, I'm a big Kiss guy, so I mean, I know it's still music, but they're one of those bands that have a bunch of merch, wide range, and so even going into action figures, of course, comic books. I've grown up reading comic books. I won't say a whole bunch. I'm not going to be one of those people. Yeah, my little
hell yeah, dude.
Peter Chris over there. I'm not going to say I've read every book or read a bunch of them. I've read a good amount of them that I like, and I have a little bit of collection of them as well. So it's a wide range thing, man. It's almost for anything. Of course, I played video games. I'm not a big video game player, but I mean, I played it.
No, dude, I feel you. Especially on the comic books, I got a lot here at my place, but dude, I love you. I used to love playing a lot of like the old school video games. As I've gotten older, I hate to say it, I've kind of not aged out of it, but just like I don't have enough time.
Yeah, it's not like I haven't aged out playing video games. I can still be a little kid or a big adult that gets sucked into playing it. It's just time. I'm either working or dealing with other things, and I just don't have time to sit there and just play it. If I do, I might get to do it. But then, like, I've been in situations where I'll have a system, and then it kind of just either like the disc reader goes out on it, and then I get a little lazy. I just put it aside because I'm not a big gamer, so it's not like it's the end of the world for me, so I can live without it. I've been a kid that I've went without cable television for months on end when my parents couldn't pay the bill and all that kind of situation. So I found other ways of entertaining myself. So you can literally name almost anything, and I might have some kind of interest. Not anything. I'm not big into other things, but movies, games, Playboys, for sure, without a doubt.
Heavy emphasis on the Playboys.
Oh, definitely. I mean, okay, so Stacy Keebler?
Yeah. Sure.
We're friends. We're friends. How about you, Darian?
Oh gosh, to see this full disclaimer, like I don't know if I have autism, but this is what makes me think I do. Like, get ready.
Get ready.
It's like from a young age, I've been captivated by everything from language to art to like history, like all kinds of stuff since I was very little. I would sit in the back and read the dictionary for fun.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
like I've been reading since I was very little. I'd read The Hobbit in 4th grade, not too long after Lord of the Rings, and many novels since then, dystopian, high fantasy, all kinds of stuff. But I've always been into art. I like watercolor painting. I'm trying to get into oil painting. I smoke pipe tobacco, so I have a collect. I like you guys. I hoard my hobbies, like shamefully. I really do. I have a problem. Please help me.
He's my cigar buddy. Like, I don't smoke a lot of cigars, but we share some cigars.
I have offloaded cigars that I should not have because it's such a bad problem. Like I go all out in whatever I'm interested in. So
Hey, at least you're the sophisticated one, though.
to a fault, almost. That's where I stick out like a sore thumb.
I think the more sophisticated you get, the more expensive it gets. Isn't that how it works?
Let me tell you about my credit card debt, my man. Bad. It's bad. No, we're doing better though. I mean, a lot of my hobbies revolve around either some form of art or reading. I also love being outdoors. I like naming all the wildflowers. I love looking at whatever that bug is over there and knowing everything I can about it. I'm a Wikipedia and Google junkie. If it's out there for me to know about it, I kind of just poke and prod until I get what I want out of the situation. So I'm just interested in too many things for my own good, to be real with you.
So I gotta say, like, listening to your all's music, like the answers that you guys came up with and how peaceful you all actually are, like it is nothing like the music, and I love it.
Just wait till the laptop is closed. Like, you can't see. Like, we're not peaceful. We're not peaceful. Nah, we're not crazy either. We don't get in fights. We've gotten disagreements, but that comes just like in marriage. There's gonna be disagreements, and even if it gets a little ugly, whatever, we'll figure it out.
Hot. I like it cold. I mean,
yeah.
He likes it firm. I like
Coke,
it soft.
Pepsi, whatever. Left, right side of the bed. I mean, we've shared beds together before, so we didn't argue in the bed, so that's a plus.
I mean, you know.
I don't know. You waking up to getting spooned was pretty funny.
Hey, we can't talk about that.
I mean, we can, but I don't know if I'll get shut down.
It's not crazy. I mean, it's just one of those situations where when you're asleep, you just don't know your surroundings and you get comfortable with another body.
Sometimes you just.
And in your case, he got very comfortable.
Yeah, it was our drummer.
Yeah.
It was our drummer at the time, which he was our. Honestly, out of all the drummers, he's the one that was in it the longest.
Yeah, he was.
Josh Brock. He was in it the longest, and
careful with your phrasing.
I wasn't going to use names, but okay.
we have long memories and a bunch of them with him, and it was one of those situations we're in a hotel. Me and him share a bed, and these two knuckleheads share a bed. And in the middle of the night, I get woken up with a big, strong, warm arm wrapped around me. And I hear this loud fucking like dog snore going on next to my ear. And it was him cuddled up next to me. And I immediately just grabbed his arm and I was like, yo, wake up. And he said some smart ass shit to me. He was like, stop getting so close to me. and then we just go back to sleep.
I mean, that's a brotherhood right there.
Yeah, I mean, at least like it wasn't a spoon. I was laying on my back, so it was more like he's like almost humping my leg, if anything, or dry humping. I'm joking.
We left the don't ask, don't tell area at this point.
Oh, we're way beyond that.
Way beyond it.
Hey, this is called Beyond the Breakdown for a reason, okay?
Yeah.
So, all right, the next song, or not next song, but we were getting ready to talk about the EP. So what can you tell us about the EP?
I mean, it's going to be a 4-song EP. If you've seen our past shows, you've heard these songs. It's just you've heard different. Like when it comes down to live, you've heard different variations. Either let it be solos, lyrics, sometimes structure of the songs would be different live than what we've recorded. But we've got 4 songs recorded. Drums, bass, guitar are done. 1 song's completed with vocals and everything. And that's going towards the music video coming out hopefully at the end of October, if not early November. There isn't a title yet. There's been a few titles tossed around what to call this stupid thing. And it just we're not there yet. As for what songs, I can tell you the songs titles of them. One's an instrumental song that actually goes way back when I started the band, and it's my tip of the hat to Kiss with their instrumental song called "Love Theme" from Kiss. And our version it's an instrumental, and it's called "Evil Theme" from 1134. And that's gonna be on there. It's been recorded, honestly. It's been recorded before in the past, but never released. And it was just one of those things that we weren't for sure if we were going to keep it instrumental or put lyrics over. And we were just undecisive. We couldn't decide, so we didn't release it. And yeah. And then now, like, we've played it with a bunch of other people, and that song's kind of cursed. Like, I used to believe it was a curse. Like, it was almost anytime we play it live, something happened. Like, a string broke or something went out. But we finally came around with the lineup that we did with that recording. We came around to where we like it enough that it's going to be a finally release as an instrumental, as it should have been, honestly. And then the other songs, like so that one's Evil Theme from 1134.
Tell them about the name. Tell them about the name. Evil Theme.
Evil
from
Theme. 1134.
Tell them the context.
Oh, like the meaning behind the whole fucking thing?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Dee Dee.
You're welcome.
Well, that whole song, personally to me, even though there's no lyrics, but musically, I think it should represent each person within the band, but it can represent any listener as well. Of any time, like at night, I feel like, especially growing up, when the sun goes down and the moon comes up, almost anything kind of goes a little bit with either your hobby or your addiction or what some of the sinful things that we do sometimes, either get drunk and shit like that, or living the nightlife, just having the fun. It doesn't even have to be like really bad, but like nightlife is sometimes represented as evil. If you're out there late at night beyond the hours you're doing some of your shit, which isn't always true, but with some of us, I feel like we've had a wild nightlife time, and so musically, that's why I feel like that's what the song represents. Going through the different phases musically, it goes through different kind of styles. And to me, it just when you start off the night clean, sober, and then you get really fucked up, and
it just degrades from there.
Yeah, and it just gets weird and whatever.
Well, more than this, it was directly influenced by Kiss, was it not?
Yeah, that's where I in the beginning where I was saying Love Theme from Kiss.
Yeah, Love Theme from Kiss.
Which is an original track from their debut album, but it was no, that was never mind, my bad. I'm thinking Kissin' Time. That was a cover. But anyways, my bad. Get off Kiss, Brian. But yeah, that's how that song goes. Really, it used to have lyrics, but I took them out. Maybe saved them for different songs.
It is a nice break from something that is so a lot of our shows are dependent on your screams for so long. It is a nice break for you.
Yeah, for sure, without doubt.
Rhythmically, it's a very interesting song. It's probably my favorite song we do live.
Oh, now I'm really excited.
So when this comes out, which I believe it will be like end of this year or beginning like January, hopefully at the latest of next year, but maybe December of this year, those songs will be out either all at once or one at a time, depending. We haven't decided how we're going to market out that, but that song for sure, it's going to finally make its debut recording wise.
Okay,
it's going to be really fun. Yeah.
So now the EP as a whole, this is your first set of releases in what, 4 years?
Yeah, I believe since 2020,
2019,
or
no,
whenever Pass the Torch is the last recording because we did that right when I believe it's right when COVID started happening over here for us. And because we were just fighting on through it. And if we can't go play shows, we were going to like at least try to get something recorded. If it didn't come out right when COVID happened, it came out right before then.
I think it was right during COVID.
And we just felt like we had to get a song out. And that was a song we written as that lineup, which was Kurt, I, Jake, and Josh Brock. And so that was the last time we recorded something. After that was COVID. We tried to get out and record in Florida. I at least we didn't like make any plans, but I was talking to a few people down there, and mainly for the experience as well. But that didn't happen because COVID stopped us from that one. And then losing the bass player put us behind a little bit as well. But yeah, it's our first recording in about 4 years, I believe.
I wanted to say regarding the production, like shout out to Yannick from Wave Transform Studios. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with. The quality is so superb. Like it's a real treat to have him producing this. It's fantastic.
Hell yeah. So I gotta ask you, it's been 4 years, like you said. You've been consistently doing shows in that meanwhile. What's it gonna be like to get that new material out there for you?
Relieving.
A relief.
Yes.
It's like popping a pimple.
I mean, like these materials are not new. Sorry for anyone that's already heard these songs in some shape or fashion, but you haven't heard these recordings on the way the tones are going to be, the way the final structure or the final lines of the lyrics or solos.
Oh, yes.
A lot of these are the final decisions that we've made into them. And yeah, like, so when you hear these takes, like you've never heard this live anyways.
Damn.
So once it gets out, it'd be a relief because we've been on this for 2.5 years, and we're dying to get these songs out.
Yeah, it's been way too long since we put anything out.
So
it's a lot of edging, man.
Yeah. So you have like the one song, Evil Theme 1134, or Evil Theme from 1134. And then the other songs are like one song's called honestly, this one I don't think we've confirmed what the title is yet. But for short on the set list, we call it Crave. So that might be what we would just end up calling it. It's called Crave.
AKA Crave to Embody.
That's what it's been introduced as before.
Okay. And then the other two songs after that one's called Love is to Die For, which it sounds a little odd as a title from us a little, but the music in there is pretty fucking heavy. It goes a little bit more black metal.
Sounds like a Vincent Price movie.
Yeah.
Really?
And then the other song after that one's called Not a One, as in like not a one, but in one word, just nada, like gotta, not a one. And those are songs.
Not a One's more punky, a lot more upbeat, really fast,
thrashy,
and thrashy for sure. It's also a clusterfuck of influences, and it keeps you guessing.
Well, what's it been like getting to kind of like diversify your sound with this EP?
It's always up and down. It can be fun. It can be hair pulling. It can question where you want to go, actually. But it's been fun most of all, like in a positive way, even if you learn something off of it.
Like there's definitely been some things that hasn't worked, but for the most part, it's all been a positive thing.
Oh yeah.
But it's always fun. Like even whatever we put when this EP comes out, we still have other shit, and we've been talking about experimenting other things within our music.
And on the bright side, we were actually able to come together and rework some things that weren't working so well and make it go to the best of its abilities as a group.
Yeah, for sure.
There's nothing in here we're just like, we're unhappy with it, it'll stay. Like, no, we got it the way we wanted it to be this time. So that's fantastic.
And this EP will be the first time that Dee Dee's been on a recording with us completely. So everything based on that one is Dee Dee. And there are songs on this one that if it wasn't for him, that when he joined the band and made some small changes, the songs wouldn't sound the way they do. Like he would change maybe a note, just a better note, or maybe a tempo. He'll ask us to try to change his tempo at this one point.
Various dynamics, different ways of adding tension and relief, things like that.
And he actually has a guitar part on one of them.
I think I do have a 5-second.
Yeah, he does. He's actually, I think he's playing guitar in one of the recordings.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I'm in the big leagues now, Mom.
You know, some musicians or bands, they prefer to play the instruments that they are supposed to be playing, which I kind of do believe in that. But you know, if another guy in the band can get away with doing something real quick for us, then let's do it. Because even in the album, the songs that you were going off of earlier, there's a song called "Take the Crown," and the whole solo in that song is done by not Kirk and I. I was looking at the screen. I was getting confused which one was that. But Kirk and I, even though we both play guitar, we didn't perform the solo on there, and that goes out to a producer in Bristol named Matt Smiles.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah,
cool.
Matt. And so "Take the Crown," the solo is performed by Matt Smiles.
If I remember correctly, he pretty much freestyled the whole thing.
Yeah, he had some days or maybe some hours to think about what to do with it, because the guy is really talented as well. He can get behind that motherfucker, guitars, drums, or whatever, and figure out something. And but I asked him to play a solo because I haven't written a solo. Kurt was kind of new almost in that point, and he hasn't finished writing his solo, and we weren't for sure what we were doing yet for that song. So Matt was able to just almost improv a solo, and I was fine with his first take, but I believe that might be his third or fourth or fifth take that he did on that song. And so what he did is what on that recording is all him. And I fucked the shit out of him when he was playing it. And I was just remembering. And then, Kurt was able to figure out, because we decided where we're going to split it, because Kurt and I split the solo up. I do the first half live, and he does the second half. But we didn't mimic everything. Even though I fucked him, I can't do everything that Matt does. But I was able to figure out where he was playing at and do my own thing to it live-wise. But like him, like Didi in this EP comes in, he, like I said before, he plays guitar before bass. And in all honesty, this guy's actually a better guitar player than both Kirk and I. We have different styles, but he has music theory down, and he's probably a little bit more better than us. But we're all good guys, and he got away with playing some guitar. He might get away with doing a solo because we still got a few songs that have to put solos on these recordings, and he might get away with putting one on there for me.
Damn.
I'll make it one to remember. I'll just put it that way.
I'm excited to hear this. Also, I'm trying to remember my local band history. Matt Smile, I think, was he the producer of the Buds?
So he is the Buds member. He's one of the founding members of that band. But he is a producer because he has his own studio over in Bristol. And
what was it called at the time?
Originally it was called like the Buds headquarters. In him and his brother's house, they had a basement turned into a studio, which was awesome. A lot of fun times in there, even by myself over there, or even with the guys, the band, and then with them over there. But then he got his own place over. I don't remember the streets, like the downtown Bristol, whatever you guys call it over there.
Well, don't dox him.
Well, it's a studio.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
But yeah, he's a member of the Buds. That's his pride and joy right there with him and his brother. And like that was a family band. So but he was a guitar player and a singer in that band, and he was a very talented musician, and that's where he comes from.
Even if they don't wind up as a staple of the band, it's great to have a fresh pair of ears into the creative process. Like even if he just filled in with a solo, that's fantastic.
Like Jacob Hart, your guys' guitar player, he knows Matt. Like they go way back. And also Aiden Shaw, another Bristol singer, but he does a lot of videos. He's helped us out as well. There's a bunch of people in these areas that have helped this band in one way or another, for sure.
Well, also, you're not only dropping the EP, but you're also releasing a music video at the end of October, I believe.
Yeah, hopefully it should be end of October, if not early November. Bunch of these, if not late, early this kind of shit.
No, I get it. it seems like 1134 has got a whole hell of a lot coming up.
We do. It's been a lot of talks. If you followed us, you've heard us mention it before. It's just finally coming to fruition, like of us releasing it.
In the middle of this, we're still trying to write, but it has been very time consuming. So there's little progress in the short term, but we're hoping to divert our attention back to writing in the near future.
So you offered an interesting point, and I know I'll have to wrap up soon, but while going through all this, you're still trying to write. What has kind of been dividing your time up between touring and then writing? What's that mindset like?
Don't forget to hit record.
Yeah.
Because it will be a couple weeks before you come back to it.
That's fair.
Attention to detail and remembering what the heck we were doing the last time we were together has kind of been a challenge, but we're getting a more streamlined process. So
for sure, we used to be a band in the early days where we used to have 2, maybe 3 if we're lucky, practices in a week, and those were fun times. And it was a lot easier trying to remember what we did just a couple of days before compared to a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But as we have to like change our schedules and stuff like that, we usually get at least once a weekend. Now for sure.
It's my fault. I got kids. There's sports going. There's all kinds of stuff.
Shame on you.
I know. I bet I should just get rid of them. But I've been,
put them in the boiler.
I've been in different directions, so we're just hanging on. Let's see my pants for now, but we're in there.
No, it's just life, and like Darian said, like reminding ourselves to record. We have a bad habit of not recording what we've done because we're just caught in the moment.
I've often said this band like is audible ADHD sometimes. As far as attention spans go, like we're always in so many different places.
I've put the fire under these guys plenty of times in situations where it's pressure, no time. Like we got to do this, whatever scenario.
And then somebody will riff something everybody else knows, and we'll completely go off on a tangent and start jamming. That happens so often. It's fun,
but it never sounds as good the second time for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. You also have a show coming up. Is it this coming week?
Oh, we got a few shows. The one that we just we've advertised for all of them, but the one we just did a recent post was the one for Wednesday at the 27 Club. We'll be playing there in Asheville, North Carolina, and then we have a show that Friday over in Somerville, South Carolina, at the Trolley Pub.
Okay.
And then the 28th, the next day, will be in Chattanooga, Tennessee, at the Dragon Roast. And those last 2 places will be the first time we've ever played there, and it's going to be fun. The 27 Club, we played there once. It'll be the second time we've been there. But the other 2 venues are the first time, so we're going to have a lot of good times over there.
I'm lucky just to remember the city name, if not the state. I don't know how he does it.
I mean,
tell me to show up and I play bass. There's not much to it. That's pretty much it.
Not much to it.
It's working so far.
See, that's how I feel with my band, where I'm just like, I show up, I scream, I leave. Not really, but to oversimplify it.
I wish I had that privilege sometimes.
Yeah, I understand that. So
my mental process on a weekday is like show up, scream, and then just leave. Wow.
Yeah.
I feel so connected to that right now.
You scream at the void, which happens to be a microphone. You get all your aggressions out, both sexual and mental, and then you just walk away.
Those are the 3 shows we have coming up for this week, and then
baby.
Then the Saturday following after that week, which will be October 4th, or is it?
Let me check my schedule.
I think it is the 4th.
Or we're playing Friday. No, it's October 5th, so it's a Saturday. That's what we're doing.
I'm pretty sure
So-
it's Friday.
No, it's a Friday.
It's October
it's
the
Friday.
4th. It's a Friday. It's Mountains of Metal in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh shit! You guys are playing Mountains of Metal?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude! Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And these shows, they're like we've had a fill-in drummer named Eric Perry, and he'll be filling in. We haven't played any shows with him. Legitimately, this guy only had a few weeks to get what we kind of forced him into doing these songs, and everything so far we're planning to go. We won't get to play the normal long set list as we done in the past, but these songs we're gonna at least get about 4 or 5 songs with these shows, and they're gonna be fun still. and we're just fighting along and getting through it, man.
Like how you said we were forcing him to do it. It's like, put the drumsticks in the basket.
He's not really being forced. Of course, he got asked, but I just go ahead and say that he's being
does what it's told.
He's not saying son of a bitch.
It puts the lotion on the drumsticks, or else it gets the hose again.
Nah, I'm more raw dog kind of dude.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. No, so I would be remiss if I didn't say this, but Brian, I believe I owe you a huge thank you for letting our band Killbait Overdose open for you guys at Bash with the Heavies. It was such an honor, dude. I actually had Sean Locke from Neverfall, now Razor Grave, on here last week. And I was actually telling him that was the very first show I ever got to do a full-length set on, and it's because of you that I got to do it, brother. So thank you.
No problem, man.
Anytime.
I just remember seeing Jacob's post. Like, I knew he was starting a band. I just didn't know how far along you guys were at. And he made a post about either you guys made an account finally, or you guys are finally getting close to wanting to get to do shows soon, or something like that. And I've known Jacob since I was a teenager from his previous band and my previous band back in the day when I used to play shows in Bristol a little bit, or here in Johnson City when he comes down here. And I just hit him up and asked if you guys were able to play a show, which I think I hit you guys up for that show maybe in April.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys had at least a couple or a few months a heads up. And once he came back saying you guys were good and you guys were going for it, and I was like, all right. And then I knew it was your guys' first show, I believe.
Yeah.
And hell yeah. So I'm glad I was able to help you guys out on that one.
Yeah, dude, we were so stoked, man. You have no idea. I mean, I'm sure you do have an idea, but I just I wanted to make sure I got to tell all of you in 1134 thank you.
No problem, man.
Absolutely, man.
And expect some future shows as well. Like,
dude,
just because we did one doesn't mean it's going to be the only one.
We also have the Halloween show coming up.
Yeah, we do have a Halloween show. That's October 26th.
Oh,
event of the year,
which
usually is.
All the flyers for the other shows have been out, but the Halloween one hasn't, and it's going to be out within like the next week or so. And usually our shows, like those kind of shows that we put on and host, come with like raffle drawings and prizes.
Yeah,
and a bunch of goodies.
Costume contest as well.
Yeah.
Not only that, the stage setup's going to be ridiculous this year.
We won't talk too much about the stage setup, but there will be some actual stage setup for this Halloween. This will be our 6th Halloween show in a row, and we do it here locally in Johnson City at the Hideaway. The Hideaway's been so good to me since I was a teenager, and they're the first venue that allowed me to play a show at any point in my life. And so I've always gave that up to Tarvo for my Halloween dates. God forbid if anything ever happens, we don't get to play there again.
That is also where I got my start.
Yeah. And then, but we usually host shows every year for the Halloween time, and a lot of good times out of that one.
Hell yeah. Well, dude, I can't tell you what a blast this has been tonight. Like, this was so cool getting to know you guys, and I'd love to have you back on in the future.
Oh, without that, is it already over? Damn.
Unfortunately, we are coming to an end.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I need to be quiet for a century or talk for a century.
Dude, I'm the same way, and I run a freaking podcast, so that's not good.
Yeah, we would love to come back on it either individually. It doesn't matter. You don't have to always have us 3 amigos, unless you always like a foursome with us.
I mean,
but if you just can handle one of us, that's fine. Just hit us up and we'll make it work out. We'll talk trash about each other.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Hell yeah. Well, okay, so I got one last question, and I ask every guest this at the end of every episode, and that is, you went beyond the breakdown with 6 scars tonight. How the fuck are you feeling?
I want more. I can always take more.
Right?
It was fun. This is actually our first time doing a podcast.
You have popped my podcast cherry, I'll have you know.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
I wish I could say the same thing, but...
This is as 1134 in a podcast. I don't know if we've individually done something. I don't know about these two, but as 1134, these 3 guys together, is the first one, and yeah. So you popped our cherries. You're the first one who gets it on episode 31, and it's been fun. Time flies real quick.
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. I like anytime somebody says that time flies, that makes me so freaking happy, dude. Because that's just like I know everybody got to enjoy it.
Yeah, and then with that whole pizza talk, like I might be having pizza for dinner, so it just comes along with the territory over here. So
cauliflower all the way.
No. Broccoli.
I saw this man have chocolate milk and beer for breakfast one day. So
God.
don't put anything past him.
Wait, chocolate milk and beer?
And of all places, at a Cracker Barrel.
At a Cracker Barrel at like 8 in the morning.
So we were like staying in Knoxville and
recording.
We were recording. We had to get up the next morning and eat before we go to the studio. And we all picked normal breakfast. And then after I ordered my chocolate milk and eggs and bacon and toast at Cracker Barrel, or hash browns, not toast, I ordered some beer for whatever reason. And I drank both of them like one after the other. Beer, chocolate milk, then chocolate milk and beer. Yeah.
Oh, your poor stomach.
And you thought Pabs and Mountain Dew was bad together.
Okay, so real quick, Pabst was my first introduction to alcohol as a whole. Okay. And I'll be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of Pabst.
It's an acquired taste.
It's no Milwaukee.
Oh, are you a Milwaukee's Best or Milwaukee Ice?
No. Hell no. I don't drink that dirty water.
You're right. It's definitely not Milwaukee.
I don't drink that dirty water. I mean, if I drink beer, I prefer German beer. I really like the dark kind of stuff. If I can drink one big ass mug and it makes me smile, that's where it's at.
We could do that as the last question. What's our favorite beer? And then we could wrap it up.
Hell yeah. Well, I'll say mine real quick, and that's Guinness Drought.
Hell yeah.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
It is liquid bread. It is so good and dank and bitter.
How about you, Darian?
I love a good Blue Moon. I like a Belgian lager. I'm also fond of bitter taste too, so I will not turn down a Guinness Stout or what have you. I'm a bit all over the place, but I like it to taste like beer, if that tells you anything.
How about you, Brian?
I'm terrible with names, honestly. I mean, I do like Yingling, but that's not like a really. To me, it's not like a really heavy beer. I mean, mainly German beer I really like. I don't remember the names.
Stefaner Weissbier, Hefeweißbier, etc.
I really like that. I thought growing up when I first started drinking, I thought, everybody here over in America, especially in Tennessee, it's all about Budweiser.
Yeah.
And I used to drink that thinking that was the choice. And then I don't remember who. Either it was an uncle, cousin, friend. They introduced me to German beer, and I totally flipped my mind about beer.
I would say that is the best beer I've ever had was German beer.
And a majority of American beer now, just as a joke, I just call it dirty water. Even though it's not like I wouldn't drink like Budweiser or whatever you want to hand me, Samuel Adams, that's good, and all that kind of stuff. I'll drink it, but nothing beats a German beer.
Hell yeah. And Kurt, am I assuming Pabst?
In the summertime, but fall and wintertime, Newcastle all the way.
Really?
Oh. Okay.
Dark horse.
Mm-hmm. Dark beer. Absolutely.
Have any of you ever had Foster's?
Yes.
Never have, actually.
There
BFC,
might have been a good chance I have.
Can.
I used to get blackout drunk. It used to be just anything I drink. So I could have devoured that, or I've never had
Australian beer, right?
Yes, sir.
And it comes in one size. Fucked up.
Dude, it really is. Like, I used to work at gas stations, and anytime they bought them, it looked like a giant, 16-ounce can that was overweight.
It looks like a spent 40-millimeter artillery shell.
There you go.
I used to drink a bunch of 40s, Hurricanes and Old English. And all those kind of things, malt liquor shit. That was not a good side of me when I got trash on those.
I was gonna say I've had my fair share of those Steel Reserve nights. So,
dude, I've been on a fucking old little motor scooter with a backpack on, carrying about 10 fucking malt liquors in the backpack, just turned 21, and I gotta help the buds out, and we all want to get drunk that night. So I'm on the scooter going to a little local mom and pop gas station, buying 10 malt liquors. Everybody's looking at me. I'm holding up the line because I can't carry 10 malt liquors in my hand too.
He doesn't seem underage.
Filling it up in my backpack, and then having all that weight on me, and then not realizing I have to like jump start this fucking scooter. And how am I supposed to deal with this extra like 80 pounds on my back? I did that. I somehow magically got it turned on the first try, hopped it on, got on the main road, and next thing you know, I'm passing a fucking cop. And I was like, no, that basically questioned me. I mean, I'm already old enough. I got my license anyways. I'm all clear. Nothing bad. It's just like you don't want to deal with that. And obviously, I'm a little suspicious. I'm on a little scooter with a big ass backpack full of liquor sticking out, or malt liquor. But yeah.
Well, guys, last comment of the night. Yingling is a Pennsylvania beer. Yeah, I actually do enjoy a good Yingling as well.
Me too.
Hey, I don't discriminate where it even comes
I like
from.
the dark.
I like the dark, the black and tan, and then I actually don't mind a Yingling light every now and then. It's like one of the only light beers that never gave me a headache.
That's only if I can't find anything else with Yingling. I'll drink that light. It's not like I hate it.
Light beer is slept on because you can drink like 40 of them and you don't feel like trash the next day.
Yeah. Okay, so one last one, Darian, and that is, have you ever had Guinness Blonde?
It has been so long ago I can't remember, but I need to renew my senses on this subject and get back to you.
This is the kind of blonde he gets to know.
Oh, she's.
He's like, no, but I've had Lovejoy Blonde. All right.
This is a Lovejoy Blonde.
Well, dudes, I can't thank you enough for this, man. Anybody who's listening, be sure to get your ass out to an 11:34 show. They bring the intensity and the energy every single second of that show. I was front stage at the Bash with the Heavies watching you guys, and I was mesmerized. It was my first time ever seeing you guys, and you lit that place up.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, expect some new merch at these upcoming shows. Hats and shirts.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then
I do love that logo.
All in camo.
There's two variations of this. Yeah, this one with the normal logo, but then they have another version of the logo upside down, which we call it our hell logo.
Well, hell yeah. Nah, as corny as that was. But my friend.
Hell yeah, brother.
Let me oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. 3 minutes playtime.
Dig it. Yeah.
It's been an awesome time with you, man. We've had a blast, and we'll do it again anytime you ask.
Hell yeah, guys. And real quick, thank you again for giving me this opportunity. I had no idea it was your first podcast. So truly an honor to find that out. And I will definitely be in touch soon. But until then, my friends, I hope you have a wonderful night.
You as well.
Yeah, man. Take care.
See you guys.
Yeah, trouble.
No.
All right, please, man.
So everybody, that was 11:34. What a hell of a band, man. You know, I always say never know what I'm gonna expect, and they did not disappoint. Honestly, not too much to get through tonight. Just a little bit of housekeeping on my end. It has been an insane week. So all I'm going to say is, if you wish to follow the Beyond the Breakdown podcast, you can do so by going to linktr.ee/BTB POD 6 scars. And that will take you to everything that you want to know about the podcast, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. If you want to buy me a coffee, because I'm drinking Monster and NOS and everything else that's not good for me, donate via Cash App. It is on JT Christine, or you can donate via Streamlabs with the link down in the comments below. Until next time, my friends, stay well. Stay well. You see how my day's been? Wow. Be well.